imagine that he's going to do that. So let's see.
Crew were so aggressive they disrespected G2. Walked up on him. Oh, look at this!
What?
Deadlock!
Yes, Deadlock got picked in her first ever Tier 1 pro game, and she won. And the impact she had at the start of this game was very, very big, as we'll see here from the very first round. What they start is with the Deadlock over towards B, and Jogmo's going to throw the wall here. Now, obviously, the wall on a pistol round is just... well, it's a nightmare, right? As G2 are going to find out, it takes an age to break on a pistol round. They have to break multiple segments here. You know, they don't know, should we actually break it or not? You see Leaf there just knifing it and whatever, revealing pretty much that, you know, multiple players have to be here. But it's what happens next that I think is important to this round as well. Because if you are going to pick Deadlock, to me, Deadlock's best bit of utility is the Gravnet. And watch now as we're going to see Leaf come across here and dash across. Watch what happens next with Jogmo throwing this Gravnet and essentially trapping Leaf here.
So many traps and so many flashes on the field right now.
The dash forward from Leaf, the spam out on Superman. He tried to land the shots. He was lit up, and it did not matter. Superman with the opener, 20 HP as he goes for a second dip.
Look at this timing from Jaw.
And he's behind him. This was borderline flawless.
And the value from the Deadlock kept on coming, essentially. If we come to round number 3, this is a round that EG don't win. But what we're going to see in this one is you're going to get a KO knife over towards A. And we've got the Gecko, KO, and Deadlock over here, right? With the double sonic sensors over towards B instead. And you'll see in just a second, we're going to get this KO knife here that suppresses 2 players over towards A. And so these players now on A, they're going to go for a pretty insane trap play. They throw both the Dizzy and the KO flash. And now they're going to just start throwing nades at them as well. They've thrown the Gravnet in here as well that I think did catch on to Valen. It doesn't quite hit. You'll get a good sense of it here that, you know, we're sending a ton of util. It doesn't quite get there. They end up throwing the wall and retreating instead. But still, it wasn't a bad try. But now, as G2 and the time is running low, right? We've only got 30 seconds. They're going to sprint back over towards B, but they're going to run into these sonic sensors. And that slows them down significantly. You see pretty much everyone gets stunned by that one. And then Valen, even who's the one with the spike, gets stunned again. So it slows them down, allowing the time for EG to rotate. Now, the problem they are going to have, and they are going to lose this round, but it does look like there's some danger at this point. The problem is Leaf is going to come through mid here, and unfortunately for them, their Killjoy is down, so they don't quite realize it, and Leaf is able to win the round.
See the value from the Deadlock.
Right.
Can they delay the plant? Viper Molly should be coming out anytime soon from Superman.
Another one out. You're right.
Spike down B.
Oh, Chogamo falls. A great response from G2.
10 seconds left.
A 1v4 for Derek. Surely too much to deal with. But you see some of the gimmicks, you see some of the plan behind Deadlock.
But in the very next round, we got something pretty funny happening as well. What happened was Leaf has come down into mid, and you see the ping here on the map as well. He destroyed his Killjoy turret in mid. They kind of saw him a bit, so they know of his general vicinity. But then things are going to go a bit more quiet as G2, you know, come over towards A essentially and look to do an A exec. But you're going to see that Jogmo's going to throw his wall out here in mid in just a second. And funnily enough, what's going to happen here to Leaf is he's going to get trapped, right? The gap is not big enough to come this way. He actually can't get back out the other way. So he has to destroy at least one part of the wall if he wants to move. And the thing is, of course, he wants to lurk in mid. He doesn't want them to know that he's still there, right? Whilst this A exec is going on. So he doesn't want to actually destroy it. But what that means is that he can't actually activate his lurk when this hit, you know, maybe gets stalled out. He can't really do anything about it, and essentially they end up playing in, you know, a 4v5 for a little time whilst Leaf is just sat here.
The wall, he's stuck
Yeah,
in
you're
mid.
right. Leaf doesn't get to play the game this round.
Sets him up for a late lurk, I guess.
All part of the plan. Valen feeling some of the damage. Chogmo from up top, able to take one with him. As Nature swings back in, and there it is. The round is done. Leaf is left alone. There's that late flank that you were talking about.
But in round 5, we really saw quite a bit of value from the Deadlock here. What's going to happen in this one is you see our setup for the Sonic Sensors here back towards yellow. And it's going to make it much easier to play back here when we have this Sonic Sensor here, as you'll see. So G2, they do decide to come over towards this B site. But what's about to happen in a second is Leaf is going to dash across here. And guess what? That's going to make some noise, and it's going to make it very, very easy for our Viper here to get this kill. And then Jogmo is going to wall up, and G2 basically have to just tuck tail and run back over towards A.
Oh, you hear the Brim Molly coming out. Is that for yellow? Look at the stun!
And the spam! I mean, they've got these protocols
It's
drilled.
beautiful.
Yeah. They get the wall down. They still have a sensor up. So even if they need to, Suman can give up the space and they still have control here.
Yeah.
Poison's off.
Very wise of G2 to work up on this A space. They know that B is basically just a fortress.
Yeah, but again, so you figure out that Deadlock's util is B. You're still gonna have to deal with the KG util on the other side of the map.
Yep.
They've gotten this far. How much further can they get? Trent up in Nest.
And EG is very comfortable here of giving the site because they have this Gecko ult. This retake's going to be huge. Look.
And so EG are just happy to play the retake here on A in a 5v4, of course, and they have a Gecko ult, as you might have just caught at the end of the clip, and that's going to clear out a lot of space because G2 in general are a team that like to play pretty passive in their post plants, and you're going to see basically most of the team retreats here, and, well, Jorgamo is actually able to get a kill because he scales up so fast, and that's going to give him his ult. And the thing is, the Deadlock ult on Icebox, of course, on this map, there are a ton of walls and crevices to bounce your ult off and find someone there.
EG is very comfortable here of giving the site because they have this Gecko ult. This retake's going to be huge. Look, here it comes.
There's the first. We'll
How
see
many people
far
will he get with
miss.
this?
I don't know that it tagged anyone. It was just a little bit out of reach.
Huge kill from Trent. Doesn't get out, though. There's the
There it is. Oh, net got.
Oh!
Derek's gonna take it the whole way. There's really no reason to challenge or do anything with it.
Wow. 4 on the round, already building up to another Deadlock ult.
Now, it must be said, though, the Deadlock maybe caused them some problems as well, like in this round where they lose a Thrifty because Leaf just silently walks up.
Again, I mean, you have so much passive info. It doesn't matter if you necessarily bite a little bit harder on this fake because you still have all this utility. Oh, they're ahead of it, though. Wise to it already.
Oh!
30 seconds left.
First one found.
Should be traded. Oh, Jogamo just barely misses him.
But on the attack side, Deadlock, as you might expect, didn't have as many great moments. There was some moments like in this round here where we're actually going to see G2 get pretty aggressive over towards A. And actually, they're going to use the Deadlock as a faking tool. So G2, you can see already are in a pretty aggressive position, but they're actually going to get even more aggressive and push up even more over towards this side of the map. But we're going to be able to use these 3 agents. You see that the spike is still down, you know, still undecided in terms of where they're going to go. They were often throwing these sonic sensors as a way of, you know, kind of punishing any re-aggress here as well from G2. You see the Gravnet goes in as well, and you see how deep here Jonah P has managed to get. Now, Jonah P continues on his aggression, as you see just here, but after being spotted by the alarm bot, decides better of it and gets out. But we do have a kill over towards B from Derek just here, and now they decide, okay, well, let's run a fake with these two, and you see the spike initially wants to come to B, but then they decide, no, let's come back to A instead because Apoth has taken this space. So now look, they're going to throw the wall. They're going to throw the wingman here. Now, what I love about throwing the wingman is, right, so they throw the wingman as if it's planting the spike. Very, very clever stuff, right? So if you look at it from Trent's POV here, here's wingman coming towards him like it would if the spike was there, right? And there's a deadlock wall going down. So the wingman's about to plant the spike, right? Well, no. As we can see, obviously, they're going over towards A, and that means that they can get a free site.
Look at Apoth.
Yeah, he's been so patient.
They're going to come back. He heard the rotate.
30 seconds
This all
left.
stems from that kill, Doug.
Can Net cut things off at least a little bit?
Oh, Derek too aware.
Yeah, he's got to know. He's got a Vandal, too. Cleanly
Too
dealt
clean.
with.
The third.
Spike planted. Last
Fallon and
player
Jonah P
standing.
left alone, and it's now
Wow.
just Jonah P in 1v5.
And then, I mean, Derek doing Derek things, killing 2 more people in mid.
But there were parts to their deadlock attack that I personally didn't love either that I think they could be better with, right? One is, for instance, what's going to happen in this round where a lot of the time Jogmo was out here on B on his own, right? And I don't like this. For me, deadlock should probably always be with the team, right? And you have your Killjoy over here, you know, instead, right? That to me makes more sense because, for instance, if we get a quick kill on A or something and we think, hey, let's just send it A, you're going to want your deadlock there to wall off, right? That seems like a pretty obvious thing that you might want to do, and your Killjoy might be better to be the lurk rather than a deadlock. Obviously, the wall can still be used in a lurk scenario, but, you know, not great. But if we check out this round as well, this is like, I think, a bit of a psychological round as well, as you'll see from Leaf, because take a look at what Leaf is looking at, right? He's looking at the choke point there. Now the wall goes up again. right? But he's still looking at the choke points. He's still feeling that. But in a second, he's going to realize, maybe someone could have lurked up with the wall there. You know, could be towards the box. But they're going to put up the wall in a third time, but it's just going to be for a brief moment, just here, right? So it goes up, and then it comes down in a very brief window. And look, Leaf instantly suspects, hold on, someone must be lurking up here, because why have you put it up for such a short amount of time? And he kills Jorgamo. And then finally, let's come to round number 20, where EG are just going to go for a full A exec with the deadlock on the team. And again, you see we've got this sonic sensor kind of, again, playing for any re-aggress that G2 might go for on them and try and surprise them with, right? Quite a nice little idea. And you'll see that that sonic sensor comes in at the very end of the round in a very funny way.
Changing the plan spot.
Nature's knife on mine. There's the flash.
Viper ult comes out in reaction. Does that?
Oh, it didn't hit.
Oh, it whiffs.
Fallon's trying to find
So
some
much
safety.
utility.
There's nowhere to go, but he somehow manages to dodge all of it without taking any damage.
And this is a very deep KJ ult.
He's gonna creep forward. Oh my gosh. Is he gonna get the timing? Gets one, gets the second. Fallon not able to get on the third, but the damage has been done. He's bought the time. They get the spike down. Numbers in favor of G2. And Op in a situation like that, that's gonna be tough to find value with Superman creeping forward. Pit still in play.
This wall too. Does it block him? Does he have to jump over it? No, it
Gone
just
now.
comes down.
Are you expecting Derek here? No. No, you're not. Oh, he's not able to get the second. A 2v2 as the spike ticks away. There's not a lot of time for this. If they're going to do something, they've got to do it now.
Wow.
The fadeaway, leaving net by himself, having
Look
to
at
take
the
the fight
stun.
into the sensor. It will not be found. We're tied at 10.